Hello, what's up? My name is Cloud. I like to talk about things that I love and why I love them. So this is my first long-form video and I wanted to talk about the Absolute Universe, especially where it began and how it was created. The video will go like this. I'll first start off with a recap, and then I'll talk about characters that not a lot of people would know and who they are and their importance, and then I will end it off with what I like, what I love, and what I think is awesome. The events of the comic happen right after the events of Absolute Power, but it's told through two POVs. The first POV is from the Justice League and the second POV is from Darkseid, but I'll be combining both POVs to match each other chronologically. Disclaimer, this is not a full retelling of the story. You still have to go and support your local comic book shop or read the comics wherever you find it to get the full context, and the images about to be shown are all owned by its respective companies. I hope you enjoy. So it started when Darkseid had an idea which led him to go and create it in isolation. The machine took time. It was crafted in Element X from the Forge of Worlds, and the design was by Hammond, the guy who created the Mother Box. So Darkseid told Hammond that if he helped him build this one last thing, he would bring his daughter back from the dead. And the law of that lie was enough for him to break every rule and create the hardware. And it would only work for one person, and that person had to be someone who it was bonded to by blood. So Darkseid cut his own arm off, trying to feed the machine his blood, but it said it wasn't adequate enough. This angered Darkseid, but he heard a voice call out to him. Kalibak spoke, asking that he did not understand the reason for why he had left them alone for such a long time, but he then led to the thought that he wanted them to create a larger army, one that was even more deadly than what they already had. And Steppenwolf and the other generals joined Kalibak, saying that they should take the army and destroy those who oppose him. But Darkseid refuses. He answered enraged Kalibak, asking him if he forgot who he was. Darkseid replied by saying maybe he did, maybe I've forgotten who I am. But there's a hunger he feels that he must follow alone. But Kalibak refuses, saying that they are his blood. They will not leave him alone. Whatever he need of them, they will help. Darkseid then says, very well, we can help. He then kills Kalibak, throwing his body into the machine, fully powering it up to its maximum potential. He then went to hell and heaven looking for the Spectre, but they both didn't know where he was. He then went to the dark side of the moon where he battled with Eclipso. Eclipso nearly defeated Darkseid, but Darkseid had a plan. He had set his beam to 15 seconds precise to open up at the brightest sun in the whole galaxy, which then incinerated Eclipso. After his victory against Eclipso, Darkseid is pleased when he found his prize. He then opened the prison cell which housed the avatar of the Spectre. Darkseid smiled, saying, finally, I will know the truth, because you will tell me. But from a written reality, the Quintessence arrived to defeat Darkseid, explaining to him that the Spectre would never bond with a being like Darkseid. But Darkseid smirks, saying that that is true, but he created his own miracle machine where, with a thought or with a wish, he can bend reality to his will. And they look at him in fear when they realize what is about to happen. And Darkseid wishes to bond with the Spectre. We then transition back to Earth, where, after the events of Absolute Power, the heroes decided to reform Justice League, but they said that the mistakes of the past will not be repeated, so they began construction of a new watchtower and a new ID card. The card was built with the greatest tech on the planet, alien technology, and blessed with all forms of powerful magic. Then the cards were sent out to the greatest heroes in the planet. Some were shocked by the offer, others rejected the idea, and others said it was finally time they were recognized for their valor. But Superman thought that some had to be approached in person. We then transitioned to Metropolis, where after Booster Gold saves two kids from a burning building, he took a selfie with them and then took off, where he met up with Superman as he commended him on a great job he did. They exchanged words when Superman then handed to him an ID card. Superman then told him that in the past, the Justice League never really recognized Booster Gold, but now, as he is right now, he has grown into a remarkable hero. Booster then looks at the card that he was handed and said, finally, he made it. Superman was surprised by what he said, saying that, but in the past, you were already a member of Justice League. Booster then explains that from the future he comes from, he always saw displays with touchstone items. These displays showed batarangs, crystals from the Fortress of Solitude, a Legionnaire flight ring, and this, a Justice League membership card. Booster then says he feels lucky to be there at that moment. Superman smiles at him and then tells him not to be late for the first meeting. And on the next day, all the heroes that were invited gathered at the newly created Watchtower, where Mr. Terrific explained and showed them the wide network of gadgets, technology, and monitoring systems that they have that can help them be deployed to wherever they're needed across the globe. Then suddenly, all the magic users and Hal Jordan begin to babble in reverse and upside down, but one word remained the same and stood out to Diana, and it was the Spectre. They all began to scream in pain as Omega Beam shot out of their eyes, wrecking the newly created Watchtower. Then a boom tube opened in front of the blank ID card. Then Darkseid stepped out of the boom tube, fully merged with the Spectre. The heroes then attacked Darkseid, trying to stop him because he had become death. But Darkseid fought back as he told the Spectre to stop resisting and to tell him about the energy surge he felt. Then Diana charged at Darkseid, trying to buy the magic user's time, but it became apparent that Darkseid was trying to open a portal from the Watchtower. Then Darkseid turned, facing Diana, telling her that men might fear her lasso of truth, but not him, for today he is searching for the truth. Then he rumbled, saying that, and now he has found the truth, and it is glorious. The spell was completed, and Zatanna casts it on Superman, saying that it would protect him from the Spectre, but not from Darkseid. Superman replies saying that it's a risk, but they're running out of time. He then turned and rushed towards Darkseid. Darkseid struggled from the hold of Diana's lasso, trying to break free, but Diana doesn't relent, telling Superman to hurry up before it's too late. Then Superman arrives at Darkseid, telling him that his bond with the Spectre is over. He then let out a bellow of pain as energy began to spark around him, and in his final words he said, "Finally." Darkseid then opens himself to death, and he feels himself ends. But in that moment, as he ends, he begins anew. But this time, he is no longer tethered to one world. He reaches out his hand and creates again. He creates a world that is driven by challenge and turmoil. A world where heroes are born to face greater odds. Where instead of being raised in paradise, they are raised in hell. Where all the advantages are gone. Where they are the small chaos rather than the system itself. A world where hope is the underdog. Where it is the villains that are the opposing force. It's a universe that exists out of time and space, hidden as the truth was hidden from him, its timeline complete and yet still solidified. All and above, it is all his. It's a reality that he can finally become what he was meant to be, where he is unleashed, where he can grow 1,000 feet tall, where his voice will shake planets, where reality will be Darkseid. And when he is him, he will return to the other world and crush it. While back at the Watchtower, the heroes stand and look at the rip that was left behind and questioned if Darkseid just thanked them. They then deduced that it was a rift in time and space, while they all finalized that this would be their first mission as the newly formed Justice League. Later, Diana, Orion, Mr. Terrific, Superman, and Batman gathered around the rift, where Orion warned them that if Darkseid is truly gone, the universe will create something equal to him to replace him to maintain balance. He then departed to go and consult with Highfather. They then turned to Mr. Terrific as he explains that the blank membership card was at the center of the attack and now acts as a doorway into the tear. They then asked him where does the tear lead to, and he explained that it leads to a hidden world that they just discovered as they were mapping the multiverse. He then continues to explain that he discovered the world right after the defeat of the Darkest Night and Perpetua. But the reading showed it was still forming, but now it has changed. It's now a finished world with the same readings as Darkseid. He explains that the vibrational frequencies of the world is chaotic and he doesn't know what will happen if it calms. But the bottom line is that the universe is dangerous. Because of its unnatural flow of time, the only people who can step into the universe safely are people with an abundance of tachyon particles, which means that only time travelers can go in there, says Booster Gold as he enters the room. Then they set up a tether through skids that within 10 minutes a portal will open up, bringing them back to the watchtower. Booster then leaps into the portal, plummeting through time and space as colors swirl around him. When he arrived in the universe, he told Skids to begin the readings, but he realized that Skids wasn't with him. He then turns to see that he was in Metropolis, where the sky was red and parademons were soaring in the skies, and an Omega symbol on the side of the daily planet. He began to panic as an Omega beam was shot at him that he managed to dodge. Then he looked up to see an army of superpowered beings. Finally, Darkseid said, "I have my army, my legion." So now let me explain a few things. Darkseid has 3 sons, but the 2 that I'll be talking about today is Orion and Kalibak. I will start off with Kalibak. Kalibak is Darkseid's eldest son. He ended up killing him to power up the Miracle Machine because he had his blood. He's not that well liked in DC, especially if you've watched the animated movies or animated shows. He's pretty much fodder. But I could be wrong, I haven't read a lot about him, I just wanted to explain that he was Darkseid's son. Orion is Darkseid's second son, who he had to trade out with New Genesis to broker a peace pact. Now, the next thing I wanted to explain was a group I didn't actually know existed until a few months ago, and they're called the Quintessence. They're a group of immortals who just watch over the universe without interfering. The main members happen to be Ganthet, a guardian of the Green Lantern Corps, Highfather, ruler of New Genesis, and the Phantom Stranger. Let me explain what a Miracle Machine is. Miracle Machine is a machine that can warp reality by granting anyone's wish. It was once used in Final Crisis, where Superman famously used it to give everyone a happy ending and end the corruption of the Anti-Monitor. And that's it for the explanation. If you need any more explanation, comment down below and I'll explain more to the best of my ability. Now let me talk about what I like. I really like how the Justice League now gives Booster his chance, his shot, because normally the Justice League didn't care that much about Booster and thought he was a clown, but now they're actually seeing him and giving him the chance that he actually deserves. I also liked the fight between Eclipso and Darkseid. Like, that was cool because I always wondered who was stronger than the other. Now I know Eclipso is stronger than Darkseid. Now I'm going to talk about what I love. I love that Darkseid created his own version of the Miracle Machine. Like, that's just awesome. And how it is activated and wanted to him, that's such a Darkseid thing. Now, what I think is awesome is how the Absolute Universe was created. The fact it was just a blank world where Darkseid just released himself from his mortal bond and then went out and reached and created the Absolute Universe, where heroes had to try a bit more harder to make it out in that world. To me, that is awesome. That's just what I think is awesome about the Absolute Universe, and that's why I wanted to start off with this issue, with this special edition from both the Justice League side and both Darkseid side, because this thing is awesome to me. But other than that, I really enjoyed reading this issue again, because I already read it before. I had to read it again for this video, and I really love the process of making this video, so I'll definitely be making another one. Whether it would be an Absolute Universe story or something else entirely, we'll just see what happens then. So other than that, thank you for watching. Have a great day.